Welcome to the Game Challenger. My name is Tony Bella, and what we do here is simple. We challenge the game. If you're new and you've never heard of us before, you can go to the YouTube channel, The Game Challenger UK. Remember, everybody, please like, subscribe, and share and comment on the channel. Now, today's episode is a little different than the normal ones, but also very special because we're not talking about young people, we're talking with young people. We have three brilliant young minds from 19 to 24. And for some of them, it's their first time on a podcast. So please take it easy on them. Yeah. This is not an interview, so no interview here. This is just a real conversation of life right now. Study, work, careers, AI, and the future. So what I'd like us to do is relax, keep it real, and start with a quick introduction. What I want to know, guys, is your name, yeah, what you're doing right now, and one thing you like outside of study and work. But before we do that, remember I have my co-host, Bosse and Joe. So we're going to go into the studio and we're going to start it off. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and comment. So that's me. Over to the studio. Okay, so if I get started, I think Deji was the first one on the call. So I would say, but before Deji comes on, let me just get Bosse and Joe to say a few words because I think we're going to be quite muted during this podcast. Yeah, so we're going to let the young ones do most of the talking. So, Bosse, do you want to just say a few words?
Yeah, I'll say hi to everyone, and thank you to Deji, Shay, and Rohan for being here today. I'm really excited to hear from you because, as Tony says, you are the future. And we have a lot of podcasts about technology, AI, digital currency and things like that. So it'll be interesting to hear about, how you are finding today's world and what you're doing and how you think the future is going to be for jobs and things like that. So I'm really, really excited to hear from you. And yeah, looking forward to this great conversation. As Tony said, it's going to be a great conversation. So I want to hear from you.
Great. Okay. So Deji, over to you. Name, age, one thing you enjoy doing when you're not studying or working. Let's go.
Hello everybody. My name is Deji. I'm a second year undergrad student studying mechanical engineering at the University of Warwick. Things I enjoy doing, hobbies. I play 3 instruments: double bass, piano, and drums. And I indulge in lots of sports. Football, athletics, rugby, basketball. Yeah, I do athletics or track and field at a pretty high level. I've medaled silver nationally, second in the country in multiple events. Yeah, that's me.
Great. So let me ask you a question, Deji, before you fire up. What's one app you use every single day?
One app I use every single day. Instagram I use every day, I'd say. What else?
Okay, that's one app. Fine. That's one app. Okay. If money didn't matter, what job would you do for fun?
If money didn't matter, what job would I do for fun?
Think about what you enjoy for fun. If money didn't matter, what job would you do for fun? Take a guess.
If money didn't matter, I think I'd definitely go into a field where I could help people. Maybe because I do like conversations and things like that. obviously an office job wouldn't be the way for me if money didn't matter. And I like meeting people every day. So if money didn't matter, I'd work in a social place where I'd be able to interact with people. It might sound a bit futile, but maybe in a medical practice or a place that sells cars, where you meet new people every day, a car dealership, or yeah, I guess depending on what skills you have. For me, maybe cars would be a better idea. Or for somebody with different skill aspects, or if I had different skill aspects, maybe a cafe or something like that, or a pharmacy or something like that.
Good. Really like working with people. So one last question before I let you go on to the next person. Just think of one word to describe your generation. One word to describe your generation.
One word to describe my generation, impressionable.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, great. Thank you, Deji. Now over to Shay. Same thing. Name, age, one thing you enjoy doing when you're not studying or working.
So my name is Shay, and I'm 21. I'm studying human-centered AI, masters at the University of Exeter. One thing only one thing.
No. I'm just saying, what do you enjoy doing when you're not studying or working?
What I enjoy doing when I'm not studying and working is definitely physical activity. So I enjoy right now doing kickboxing, football, going to the gym, calisthenics, things on that path. Also, I attend a Christian fellowship, so I enjoy meeting up with people with a similar faith and communicating.
Great. Okay. What one app do you use every day?
Right now, probably LinkedIn.
LinkedIn? Okay. And if money didn't matter, what job would you do for fun?
Definitely a physical activity. I'm not too sure which one though. Maybe I say kickboxing right now, maybe.
All right. Okay. One word that describes your generation?
Sheep.
Sheep.
Yeah.
Sheep, as in CHEIP. Wow, that's we have to come back to that sometime. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Shay. And Rowan, yeah, I think you got the gist.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Rowan. I'm 23. I graduated last year. No, 2 years ago. Since then, I'm a photographer, so I do concerts and weddings mainly, a bit of other events, but mainly those two. And then I work for NHS as well in the radiology department, in the IT department of the radiology department. Some things I like to do. I'm quite big into rock climbing, so that takes up a lot of my week. I'm usually there like 2 or 3 times a week. I've started boxing as well again recently, so that's again another few days. And I quite enjoy going to concerts.
Right, good. So if money didn't matter, what job would you do for fun?
Probably like youth work or something like that, like youth social worker or maybe an English teacher or something.
Great. So what one app do you use every day?
Definitely YouTube.
Okay, great. And in your case, one word that describes your generation?
I'd say powerful.
Powerful. Wow. Okay, we've got different extremes, yeah. Powerful. Thank you. I think Joe, thank you very much. We're going to come back to everyone soon. But Joe, do you want to say a few words before we get? We've gone through the first session in terms of just introductory. Do you want to introduce yourself, Joe? And do you want to just give us something about you?
Basically, I'm a tutor, and just like Tony, and basically to find out more about your experience in this environment, whether it be university, whether it be social, making friends, what you experience from an economic point of view, because at the moment it's quite challenging for students like yourself going to university or finding work. There's high unemployment in regards to graduates at the moment. It may affect some, it may not affect others. There is deprivation in terms of youth at university, depression, etc. Really, not to make it too heavy, what are you enjoying? What is challenging? And just taking it easy and simple through what your experience is. And really, the point is, your experience may help others when this is published. Yeah. And that's really the point. Your experience may help others coming up. I've got a 17-year-old, Tony's got younger children who are coming up, and they were going to need your input to see how you navigate through this current environment. That's really it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Joe said it in a nutshell, but I think the key thing is what we've talked about, one word that describes your generation. And if I remember rightly, Deji says impressionable, and then Shay said cheap, and then Rowan says, you said, what did you say, Rowan? Yeah?
I said powerful.
Powerful, that's right. Yeah, powerful. So let's just go back. Let's just go back and say backwards this time. So Rowan, why do you say your generation is powerful?
Well, I definitely agree that we're cheap and we're impressionable. Don't get me wrong, but I think we're powerful in the sense that like we say what we want, like from the last generations and whatnot. Especially where I've worked, because I've always quite kind of been the youngest at the hospital that I work at. Like a lot of the other employees, like they won't speak up and they won't say things, but people of my generation, they'll always say if something's wrong or something's going on that shouldn't be going on. So I think that's why I said powerful.
Okay. But do you think that works in your favor, or do you think it works against you?
I think it works in our favor.
Bearing in mind that most of the people that you're working for are from the older generation.
That is true, but I guess just what do you want to accept for yourself, I guess, isn't it?
Right, okay, great. So powerful because you just say what you feel and you don't really worry about others in terms of how people just say it. Great. So Shay, cheap generation. Yeah. Can you kind of explain to us why would you say your generation is cheap?
I'd say because like it's a generation of social media. So on social media, there's a lot of influences, and a lot of people's opinions and perspectives are based off these influences. And some people, maybe they're not cheap, they just agree with them. But I think a lot of people, if you try to critically discuss points with them, they don't actually understand why they believe a certain point of view. They've just picked up point of view from social media. They haven't actually delved into why they believe that. And I think that's because they're sheep and they've been influenced by other people.
Right. Okay. Cheap. Okay. And Deji, you say impressionable. So what's your reason behind that?
I think mine's similar to Shay. Is kind of based off of media that the majority of the population is exposed to, and everybody is exposed because we have the algorithm to increase people's consumption of social media. And when you consume one type of media, one side of media, they're going to repeatedly give you that same side of media, and a repeated cycle is created, almost domino effect, where you go deeper and deeper and deeper into one side of politics or one side of economics, and you become people become almost radical, far left, far right, and whatnot. So I think everybody's impressionable. I don't think the foundation of human beings has changed, but I think the that media has changed and that yeah, everybody's become more susceptible and more vulnerable to social media, because it can send you down a rabbit hole if you're not careful.
Okay, great. So I just like the way you guys have narrated that. Yeah, but I'm going to just note down these questions quickly. I'm going to, each of you, I'm going to ask you the same questions, but I just want you to note so that we don't have to ask the question again. So firstly, the first thing I want to ask you is, how are you finding life right now as a young person? Okay, that's number one. Okay. Second thing, and I'm going to ask you all, like, to answer all of them when I call you back up. Yeah. Do you feel excited about the future or unsure? Yeah. What pressures do people your age feel most? Do you feel school or college actually prepares you for real life? And what worries your generation the most? What worries your generation the most? So if I go to Jeju, okay, everyone else will be able to. So how are you finding life right now as a young person?
I'm finding life pretty good at the moment. I participate in a few societies at my university, and I'm part of quite a few separate communities. So I have the option to be exposed to different types of groups and have a good social life, as well as having the opportunity to have alone time as well.
Okay, great. So do you feel excited about the future or unsure?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Do you feel excited about the future or unsure about the future?
A bit of both. I'm excited about the future because at the moment I'm continually growing, continually learning. I'm only halfway through my course, so I'm excited to see what it has to give. I've started playing new sport, paddle. So I'm excited to see how I progress in that. Unsure only because I think the employment market is changing, and I think not whatever role you pick, but a lot of the traditional roles that are easier to go down, although they might be easier to apply for, that in the future they might be made redundant. So yeah, I think I have to be very careful about what field I pick. Even the higher paying roles can be made redundant.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what pressures do people your age feel the most at the moment?
I think at my age, I think it's just finding career paths and what and knowing what role you want to go down. Thinking, especially in university, I do live in maybe a kind of bubble at university because I'm surrounded by students. But in terms of students, they're mostly applying for internships or grad roles, trying to figure out what path they're going to go down, and what types of income they're willing to accept, and things like that.
Okay. So do you feel a school or college has prepared you for real life at the moment?
I think I don't think secondary school or sixth form and college have, but I think in university the resources and information available almost force you to be aware of the decisions you're going to have to make within the next few years in your life to prepare you for your career. It's almost a peer pressure because as soon as one person gets an offer from an internship or a grad role, you realize that time is ticking. Obviously, everybody has to move at their own pace. However, everybody has to start, and yeah, it's you move from a place of where in secondary school and college, you're assigned everything you need to do. You do it just for the sake of assignments. Your teacher tells you what to do, you do it. However, when you come to university, it almost becomes you have to figure out what you want to do with your life, and you have to be innovative and creative, and find your own path, and then find applications because they're never sent to you. Although in the university, there are careers officers that can send you like applications to sign up for, but even those in themselves, you have to find as well.
Right. Thank you. And what worries you? What do you believe worries your generation the most?
I think it is that job market thing. Shrinking job market, or not even shrinking, changing job market that is, I wouldn't say completely unpredictable, but it's new to everybody. There are some fields that we can predict are going to grow, and some that we can see are going to vanish. For example, I was doing a warehouse job over the holidays, and that factory I know is being shut down and just being replaced by machines. And then obviously in shops, they're taking away a lot of tills and replacing them with self-checkouts. On my university campus, there's a small co-op store, and it has, I'd say, almost 30 checkouts, all self-checkouts, and there's no till, there's no staff working at a till checking anybody else out. But even traditional roles like let's say consultancies, a lot of consultancies are shutting down and being made redundant, or a lot of firms are offloading the consultancies that they've employed because they figured out that they don't need them, or they've been able to implement artificial intelligence to give them the same information that they could have got from the consultancies and things like that. So yeah, I think the biggest fear is that people going to go into roles that they haven't realized or they haven't thought about being made redundant in the future. Yeah, and I think that the solution is to find skills that are not susceptible to being replaced by technology.
Right. Thank you, Deji. I like the detail you have there. So obviously it shows you've got a good understanding of what's going on. So I'm just going to ask Bosse and Joseph to just bear with us for a second, because I just want to finish everyone, and then we can ask you some questions, because it is about the young ones. So we just got to make sure we get this right. So Rowan, the same questions to you. Yeah.
Yes. Could you repeat the questions, please?
Okay. How are you finding life right now as a young person?
I'm quite enjoying it, actually. I think like when I was younger, it was the idea of like having a regiment, like you could go uni, immediately get like an office job, and then you'll be happy, kind of thing. But right now I'm doing in the creative industry, and yeah, I'm quite happy.
Oh, great. I'm really happy that you're happy, because that's one of the things, and this is one of the reasons why people need to hear this, so they can see that it's not all doom and gloom. Yeah. Okay. So, do you feel excited about the future, or unsure?
Quite even split between the two, actually. I mean, I'm quite excited because like I feel like I have a lot to live for. There's a lot that I enjoy in my own life. There's a lot of things that like I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I get to do this today, kind of thing. But also more long term, there are a lot of worries that there are, like the economy, for example, the job market, like on a wider scale, I guess you call it geopolitical situation going on. Everything just feels like a second away from breaking, so it's kind of worrying, especially for like people of my generation, because everything that goes wrong now is going to affect us like for the rest of our lives.
Exactly. Yeah. And what pressures do people your age feel the most?
I think a lot of social media. There's a lot of pressure. I think a lot of people want social media experience, because I feel like in school we're not really trained on like how to, and not just social media but news as well, like how to interpret news, how to interpret social media. So a lot of people see the snapshots of other people's lives, like the best moments, their holidays, their highs, their promotions, and they don't see all of the bad sides of their life. So then they think that they're gonna be set back in life because they're not on these holidays, on these promotions, but they don't see all of the negatives of the person's life, or the fact that it just could all be a bot and they're being sad over a bot.
So
And
that's good.
yeah.
That's good. So obviously this question you probably already answered. Do you feel school and college has prepared you for real life?
Not really. I would say there definitely are some schools that do prepare you for the real life, but those are like the quite elitist, like Eton Manor and Harrow Boys School and those types of places where you're paying like 30 grand a year, and it's quite an elite club. But for me and like the majority of, I think, my generation, no, I don't think school and college or sixth form really prepares you for life. It's more of like, I think it was Deji who said, like, they give you work to do and you do it. They give you assignments to do that you do it. They give you detentions, you go to them. But yeah, again, and I agree with Deji that university was more of like a preparation for real life, because I think the main thing about living away from home and living so far, because I went to Birmingham, so it was like pretty much a 3-hour door-to-door journey between my two houses. So it was good, and I think it prepared me a lot more than college or sixth form or school did, because I got to have to do everything by myself, like my cooking, my cleaning, my washing, actually getting up in the morning to go. There was no one like shaking the bed saying hello, get up. It was just me going to university and having to like find my own motivations and my own reasons for going and doing stuff.
Great. And the final one, what worries your generation the most?
Again, I think it's just the economy and like the political situation across the world, even in this country with like reform and stuff. I think that is a massive worry for a lot of us.
Right. Okay. So thanks a lot for that, Ryan. So Jay, over to you. So how are you finding life right now as a young person?
Yeah, I think life is interesting. It's exciting in terms of like we don't know what to expect. In terms of like my personal life, it's like quite busy right now in terms of like deadlines and applications. And there's quite a lot of pressure, but yeah, I think we just gotta relish the pressure and just rise. So.
Great. I like that. Okay, do you feel excited about the future or unsure?
I think both unsure and excited. Unsure in terms of like we don't know how the development of AI and the way that the economy is going, how it's going to affect everybody. Then excited because although like people have said there's going to be like redundancies and people losing their jobs, certain tasks being automated, there will definitely be opportunities as well. For instance, like AI will replace a lot of stuff, but like artificial intelligence still requires data to be like good quality data, requires security, requires the ability to be deployed, and so on and so forth. So there's definitely going to be opportunities that are going to be created, but there's also going to be redundancies made. So excited in that sense, but unsure because there are definitely we don't know how fast it's going to like develop. So there's definitely going to be downsides to it.
Hope you're not excited about the redundancies.
No, of course.
Okay, so what pressures do people your age feel the most?
Pressures. I think I'd say financial pressures and employment pressures. I think financial pressures, like you see a lot of people, especially like my age, trying to act like they have money, or trying to find quick money, renting out cars. So there's definitely a financial pressure. yeah, there's definitely a financial pressure which is causing people to do irrational things. And then in terms of like people in my environment, in terms of university students, definitely a pressure in terms of finding graduate roles and roles in general. Because the thing, I don't know, I saw some stat that there was like, I forgot the exact figure, but there's so many graduates and there's so few roles that are being listed. And yeah, the maths is not mathing, so yeah, it's not sure in that sense.
When you say people renting cars, what are they renting cars for? I don't understand.
Maybe for girls, I don't know, but because I don't do it, but yeah,
to impress the girls.
Yeah, to impress girls, or to like act like they have money so that they can, or maybe impress their friends. I don't know.
So are there pressures in terms of girls, in terms of what the expectations from the boys are these days?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's always been around there, because I remember something like that. So do you feel that college actually prepared you for life, real life, college and school?
I think in terms of like the discipline that it instills in you, maybe because you get out what you put in. So in terms of studying, and I think that reflects the real world. But in terms of like actually teaching you how to do the job and things like that, or like saving money and investing, I don't think so. Even like my previous degree, I don't think there was much similarity to actually working within a job. Because I did an economics degree, and in terms of finance job, it doesn't really teach you too much in terms of that. I think the degree that I'm doing right now is more relevant because it's a new degree, but I think a lot of the degrees are outdated and they don't actually teach you the relevant skills to be able to get a job. And that's why people have to do internships and extra projects on the side to point out to employers that they are actually equipped to do the roles that are out there.
And the final question, what worries your generation the most?
Yeah, I think definitely the employment market in terms of AI and the uncertainty that it will bring.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we're going to have to pause right there. I know you was getting excited. Let's take a pause right there. Wow, I am so excited. You know what? We said this is going to be special. You know what? I feel so special that I'm actually hosting this. And thank you very much, the young ones. We're going to say on the next episode, the young ones are going to be talking about some amazing things also. I would like to thank you, Joe and Boss there. And guess what? What did you hear today? You heard the introductions, you heard the mindset, how this generation actually really thinks right now. Guess what? But the next episode, the conversation, the real conversation starts. We're going to be diving into friendships, loneliness, building confidence, making money, starting business from nothing, and how young people are really navigating university works and the pressures of the future. Are you excited about that? I'm excited. You're going to hear honest truths about social media pressures, finding your tribe, turning your passion into income, and the things people don't talk about. So don't miss the next one, coming very soon. So guys, guess what? Like, subscribe, and share, and send to as many young people as you can, and send those oldies. Listen, I got a lot to learn from this. So guys, those oldies, you need to send to yours. So the next episode is coming very soon. And I don't think it's going to be the final episode, because what I heard today, I'm going to go in there and talk to those guys and get some more nuggets. And hopefully we're going to have more to come apart from the next one. Okay, so because this is all about real talk with real young people. So I'm going to say, until the next episode, over and out. Remember, you can find us on the Game Challenger UK on the YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment, and definitely notify so that you know when the next one's going to be out. Again, thank you very much, Boss there, and Joe, for being there with the young ones. Bye.